fast back, or a quick one this time, in light of the spinny whirly thing coming to visit, just like they like to do every time around this time of year. I forget what this one's called. Honestly, I don't remember what it was. It was a weird name too. But I think tomorrow morning, or early morning, something like that, it's supposed to start hitting here. They're saying tropical storm. They're saying hurricane. Governor's already trying to evacuate a few. And we got a lot of people coming in from New York and all over. And like I said, I'm not saying anything this way or that way, but from Ohio because of recent events and everything. So we're gonna see empty racks of bottled water and toilet paper all over again. And it's not just the face mask thing. It's every time. I don't know why. No offense if any of y'all are watching and you're new down here to Florida. Hey, do what you want. It's your money, your life, but you don't need like 20 cases of water. I just throwing that out there. Really don't need that much. But other than that, hopefully they're pretty good on the response. Like even if a bridge collapses, they're pretty quick on getting right on it. If you've ever been to Florida, you know every time you come, they're doing construction, road work, everywhere, all the time, somewhere, all the time. But yeah, so that's the main reason to making this. Plus, you know, not crying about it, but being caught in my head with you know, stuff and things. The best thing I can ever figure to do, even if a carburetor is perfect, I'll rip it off, run through it, check the jets, run through it, check the floats, measure, make sure it's not dropping too low, too high. Everything's good. And then I got old Rachel here that y'all usually see me sitting on. Let's see if I can do this. And hopefully y'all don't mind the porch too much, because with the leaking roof and all that, it's super fun. But I'm gonna turn the lights on so y'all can actually see them this time. Got rid of that ugly, gigantic bar with those god-awful orange Christmas lights. I went kind of with the cheapy little band directionals. They're like the running lights in general. I'm sure y'all have all seen them somewhere, somehow. But right now, without the right flasher, it flashes just towards the inside, even on both sides. Let's see if I can switch it over here. Ugh. Yeah, it's just on the inside, so in hindsight, I wish I kind of would have flipped the sides. But once I get the actual LED flasher, hopefully that'll fix that. And then, whoops, something's missing. But don't judge me too much on the brake lights right now. But for now, it's one LED strip right there for the running light. Regular brake light. Some wobbles. We'll see if y'all can see this. There we go. Pretty sure that showed up. So I got one strip for the running light and then the other strip for the brake light. I had to put those awful directionals. I put them right on the frame just for now because I don't have any kicking around or anything. I still gotta mess with the wiring a little bit. I dropped the plate down, which I know I gotta fix that because they're not gonna be happy. Just ran a little LED tag light for now, but that's the stock bracket off of the, yeah, right there, off of the fender. So I'm sure that weighed a pretty penny. And there, speaking of which, those god-awful things, geez, those are hideous, I tell you. There's a stock tail light. I was gonna try to reincorporate that somehow. I did that on my last bike, flipped it under the rear seat. But kind of got like that, the Yamaha R1 look, like that MotoGP tail light when I do it. But I am gonna put one more, probably maybe like bobber style or something, but I want to do something cool, just somewhere higher and on the outside of the wheel well. That's not going to be permanent, that's just for right now too. But you know, down here you could be having a flashing yellow light on your hat, be wearing fluorescent frog togs and all that, and they still don't see you. But anywho, not that it's a special deal. Finally deleted that other throttle cable, so single, so much better. And then, unfortunately, I broke a fitting. So, I'm sure y'all have seen this too. Plenty, here and there. But I finished that bottle a while ago. And, let's see if I can get better coverage of this now, going back and forth. Anybody that knows the shadows will know this, but right down in there, there's a little plastic elbow fitting that went from there up to the radiator for the overflow. And I didn't have any more of those fittings, and I was getting too worn out trying to go up and down and look for them. Drilled a hole in the top, made a nice little bracket, and if you can even see it, that little metal cage type thing that's holding it there. If you look over there at that lawnmower right on the muffler, it looks kind of familiar. Had that off my old riding lawnmower. Made a perfect bracket for right now, again, just temporary. Let's see if I can flip this. Oh, there's that beautiful face. Yeah, I know, I'm full of myself. But had a busy couple nights, and the funnest part was last night. I was up till 1:30 or 2 a.m. Obviously, I don't have a bedtime, not a big deal. But I couldn't figure it out. I could only get the right turn signal working and the brake light. The running light would not work on the left turn signal. So I swapped the power signal wire from the right turn signal to the left. Left one worked. Still couldn't get the running light to work. Tested it. It was dead all the way through with the voltage tester. And I don't know, frustrated, sweaty. You haven't been to Florida. I've never experienced this wonderful weather. I think it was 78 degrees at 1 o'clock, I think. So it stays nice. It stays real nice. We had a couple short rains with a cool breeze, so it was a nice morning, a good night. But call it quits in the morning. Check on the little guy and make sure he's still sleeping. I think he's teething too, so he's been pretty fussy lately. And still awesome. Best thing in the world. Best little guy in the world, besides his older brother, both of them. I don't pick favorites. And without speed talking and rambling, woke up this morning and just obviously I had to get to it. I had a leg appointment set up for tomorrow. Called them, had that squared away because of surgery being put off too. Might as well just get them done now, and we'll make the adjustments after surgery if we can. So I come back out here to mess with it, and then found out it's right up underneath the seat, right all the way up to like the back of the gas tank. Those 2 wires somehow, whether it was me pulling the fender off and not realizing, tugging on the harness, I plugged those back in, they worked. Thank goodness. For now, like I said, I mean, if y'all like the stock turn signals, that's y'all. But they just remind me of those just hideous Christmas lights like they put through the town. But could you imagine if they were just amber and not red and green? Wow. And a headlight, that's cool, I guess. I do like that, like a nice yellow or amber headlight on an old chopper. But anyways, got that all set. So hopefully in time, maybe after the hurricane, I'm not going to worry about it until after that. And I don't have, you know, an abundance of finances. But that's about where it is. I told you all a little bit about the surgery last time. I had to sit there and go in and just talk to him and get the run through. But at least he was honest and maybe a little weary when he said he hasn't done this procedure on an amputee before, and he doesn't know any surgeons that have. Personally, he doesn't. But I mean, you know, take it with a grain of salt or something. He said the main thing was when I first got out of the hospital, a lot of the stuff I had to do because the bones were just, you know, run over a turkey, like one you would have for Thanksgiving, and just take out the bones. Same thing, just, you know, shattered. So he said because I had to do that little thing, it was like a weird, I think they called it a bone stimulator. Obviously, it says it in the name. But it's like this little band with a circle thing and a wire coming off it, and you put this, I don't know, some kind of stuff inside of it in a tube, and then put it in that area, and it's supposed to send some lasers or something. Apparently, whatever it is, it worked. Because it's like, I can't say corrosion, but I guess maybe barnacles on the bottom of a boat, maybe, if I didn't jumble that too much. Right around the rod that goes down my leg, and around all the hardware in the knee, the bone just kind of calcified and built around it. And he said, you know, he's got to chip away at that to get the hardware out, kind of pull the bottom of the rod out a little bit where it goes into my knee. It looks like one of those old wooden spoons in a way, I guess. If y'all haven't seen them, it's weird. It goes down the leg like a bar, and then the bottom looks like the little rounded spoon part, and that spoon part's like right on the outside of my knee. And that's where that darn socket always rubs and presses against. But now that he informed me, like I told y'all, that I apparently don't have an ACL in my right knee. I mean, would have been cool if they would have told me that, but then I guess maybe I wouldn't have done the stuff that I did in these past couple of years if I would have known that. And whatever else he said, honestly, I wouldn't lie to y'all, I don't know. I don't remember what it was. Something else in there was ripped or torn. But obviously, like he said, what I was feeling and thinking was right, that it felt like just a couple muscle fibers were holding on to what I have left of a shin, which is like that much, honestly. Maybe like 6-7 inches. And just walking with the leg, I don't know if anybody really cares or if this really explains much, but like this is my leg and then this is the prosthetic. When I go to bend it and then pull back up to step, that ACL missing, that I have to use every other muscle in my leg for that, and it feels funny because it wants to dance and pivot and move, and it snaps and pops and clicks every time it bends or I step down or pick it all the time. I mean, I'm sure it's not great. It doesn't feel horrible, but it doesn't feel great. But all that fun stuff, and that's just what it felt like. It felt like it was just pulling on that shin bone and just pulling at those muscle fibers. And he's like, "Yep, nope, that's what's happening." So that and whatever, some accelerated degenerative arthritis in both knees. I don't know. With all that going on, I'm sure something like that would be happening too. But wrap this up without being too long. He said it was like a one and done type thing. When you go in there, it's either going to happen or it's not. There's no plan B. There's no we'll revisit it and try something different. It's just, and I'm guessing it's probably because he's got to like chisel away at all that bone. He's got to chip a lot of that stuff off, because it's literally like, I guess, finding a fossil in stone, you know, just like they do. So you got to chip away at it and be careful, and just, I don't know. And he also said he might, I don't want to word this wrong, not like I'll get in trouble for it, but I think he said something about hoping that he doesn't have to pull the whole rod out, if I can spit that out. He just wants to kind of get the bottom dislodged, you know, take the hardware out and do whatever. But then no, it's pretty cool if you can stomach it. Look it up on YouTube. But they literally have this like apparatus on a counter where they put the ACL on this weird thing, and they, I don't know, they prep it and they get it ready, and it's a little rough on the stomach unless it's one of those 3D animated videos or whatever. But man, I don't know, they drill right through the center, I guess, right down through, pull the muscle up through, and they put that, like I said before, that anchor thing, a couple more screws, and then attach it in the bottom somehow. And so 6 months of that fun healing time, which, you know, I've done my time before too, obviously. Nothing too different, but just 6 months of that thing being straight in the brace and not being able to bend it. And then the physical therapy. I don't know why that took a second to spit out, but physical therapy after that's not going to be just a couple weeks. It'll be cool because I liked all the people there. They were really awesome. And honestly, as much as I didn't really want to go before, I'm sure in one of my early videos I said it, like, go. If unfortunately you're ever in a bad spot and you have to, or you get recommended for physical therapy, definitely do it. The first couple classes might be weird. They might suck a little bit, but you'd be amazed on how simple it's. Like, I could have thought of that, but I didn't, and how much it, you know, pushed you forward or made a lot more things accessible just because you figured out how to do different things with, I don't know, all this stuff, you know, transferring and moving in and out and doing it safe, because I've busted myself quite a few times. Not just that last video where I turned around and tipped over in my wheelchair. Quite a few times. But that's pretty much it. So the only thing though is, just like a certain one of y'all dropped in the comments, if I can remember correctly, 57 days, if this is still kind of working, I really want to make that. So I don't want to, you know, health-wise or anything, especially with the kids, to just mess with that when it comes to the surgery. But what I'm trying to say, like usual, is maybe I can push it out a little bit. So, because I got to make the cave up. I can't miss it. And if I have to go in a cage, I will, but I'd rather not, you know. 2 wheels, besides my Mustang, is always better than 4 wheels. So we'll see how all that goes. The kids doing awesome. My oldest is really taken to his new school too, and I was worried about that. Just, I'm sure like a lot of y'all that are parents, just older kids, more mixing with just bigger, I don't know, just a bigger school, more classes, more to think about. And again, the older kids to put those awesome, good impressions on the younger minds. But we'll see. He is mine after all. So he's doing good with that, especially the class where he gets to mess with the animals, the rooster, and he's got a couple of rabbits. Pretty sure he has goats out back, he said. He likes to go out and see them and take care of them, learn about all this stuff. It's awesome. Snakes, all kinds of cool stuff. Come to Florida. Even the schools are cool. You know, depending. The little guy's doing awesome. I mentioned it previously, but yeah, I definitely think he's teething. Really fussy, but he's doing good. It's just when he's like typically crying and, you know, hungry or just wanting to be picked up, it's at 100. It's not just wah wah. It's rah. But I love it either way. I don't love my baby being sad or crying, but I love just every step and every stage. And he's almost at a giggle. He's like so close to giggling. He's got that, I don't want to do it and look like more goof than I already am, but it's like the heh right before the double, right before it's an actual giggle. So it gets there and gets all excited and smiles. It's just great. And the other thing, I'll talk forever, make a 2-hour long video about my kids, but my youngest, for some reason, every time you hold him up too and he's standing in your lap, he's always, arms are in there, he's shaking and he's smiling and he's happy, like he's just always, I don't know, super baby or something. He's so chunky, he's so funny. You couldn't tell. I love kids. I love motors. I love things that really just aren't safe and not all the ways legal, maybe. But other than that stuff, yeah, life's pretty good right now. Just trying to take care of things before that hurricane comes this way or whatever it is. But the Waffle House is still open. I don't hear any closing time with them, so that's rule of thumb. Waffle House is open. It's not going to be too bad. So we'll see. They got pretty good food. Y'all ever visit and you've never been to one? Check it out. It's not really healthy, but it's pretty good, especially after a long night of camping and storytelling. Alrighty, well, I don't think I missed too much. I did a little tour of Rachel there. Like I said, drop whatever you want in the comments, but don't judge me too much. Most of this stuff is temporary. Those LED strips are not going to be enough for these people to see. So if I can make up a sissy bar in the future, I am going to make up a rear fender. We'll see what we can do, especially maybe some carbon fiber, maybe, could be. But yeah, many more to go, many more to do, but we'll see. Fingers crossed. Not your threads, like always. And hey, now more than ever, now maybe I'll see the other reason of why I say that all the time too, because I literally have bolts and threads in my body, so on top of the motorized vehicles myself. So until the next time, hope y'all are doing good. You know, everybody has the downfalls, everybody has the good moments, bad moments, but hopefully all of y'all are riding high right now. Things are good. As expensive as things are and as hard as things have, you know, been the past couple months, the past couple years, let me know. Love to hear about it. Love to hear from y'all, especially with the last video. But next time, crash out.